I might be laid up for the moment, folks, as you guys probably know following my channel, but just before I got laid up, I took out one of the hand plows and we got it done here. So follow along. All right, folks. It's another planting day out here. We still haven't gotten to hoses yet. As you can see, they're all over the ground. The radishes just in a few days have already popped up. We're starting to watch for peas. I'm pretty sure I can see them just starting to pop up right here. I see peas coming. But that's not today's goal. Today's goal is to get the potatoes and the onions in. This is just a trench where water runs down, folks. We're going to put them in right here. And, you know, because of the way I like to do them with heavy hilling, I'm probably going to use my hand plow. I know a lot of you guys have maybe not seen that because a lot of times I use my tiller, but since this has already been tilled, I'm just going to dig my lines in with the stakes and the hand plow. And these are really nice tools for gardeners, folks. They really do a nice job of turning the soil for you, and they also put a nice trench in so you can plant in. Let's get to it. I tend to be on the simpler end of things, folks, when it comes to gardening. Not always bigger is better. So I just take metal posts and I stick them in. I've got them measured for my tiller here on the end of this hoe, and I just space them out and put them in, and then I just take the string line and come down them to make the rows. Works really good for me. We run the rows east and west because that's the way the storms hit. If you take a look here at the garden, you can see there's a little bit of a runoff from the east to the west too, which makes it work really good for the plants versus them crossing through the rows. And here, folks, you can see I'm using not the first black line, but the second black line, which makes the spacing a little smaller. And that's for these last set that we're going to be putting in up here, which will be onions. Onions don't have as much foliage. The tiller can go through them very easy. We found that we don't need as wide of a row. So the potatoes need that wider row, the onions will not. So as I kind of kick it into high gear here, you can see I'm just using my string. I'm just shuffle stepping myself right through the hard soil. Now it's been tilled, so it's better than normal, but boy, this soil gets really hard. And as you can see, I move the string lines over based on that hole marker, and then I just get underneath and I just go right down it and make a nice trench. This tool isn't the tool for planting fine things like carrots, but it's a great tool for potatoes. It leaves a heavy trench, which I really like. I also like it for onions. I like it for when I have to put bean plants in, because I can just trench the line and they can just come in with the bean plugs, drop them every 6 to 8 inches and fill them in. So it really has its advantage. So this is a tool that I like, so I just kind of wanted to show it. The other thing I want to talk about is what we have to plant. So when you do self-sufficient, homesteading or self-sufficient farming like we're trying to do, we have a lot of products from the previous year then that we use. So in this case, we have seed potatoes. Now, you can take your seed potatoes and everywhere there's an eye, cut the eye off or that chunk of that potato off, and then it'll grow a new potato. But we keep enough seed potatoes that we don't have to do that. And the other thing is we're eating them right up to the time we plant almost. Not for baking, but obviously for mashing and other things. So what she's doing here is she's putting in the soil conditioner, which is a gypsum. We throw that down because our clay is so hard and our plants need that. And then we put down just a little bit of fertilizer if we can, right into the troughs. So that's what Julie is doing there. And then we're ready for potatoes. And when we put these potatoes in, they've been growing in our fruit cellar, and that's fine. They got eyes. We lay the eyes all to one side. Now again, a couple of these potatoes, you can see they got 2, 3, 4 eyes on them. You could cut those, and then each one could be an individual plant. But our plants in this short season up here where we live in Minnesota do better if we just lay them all one way and put them in and get them growing. Basically, the plant is already out of the ground. It turns green within about a week, shoots up leaves, gets a faster start. We seem to get a bigger hill of potatoes than if we take potatoes with eyes, cut them up and let the eyes come up. So this is how we do it. I know that looks a little different, but it's a great way to use seed potatoes. And then, like I said, your potatoes get a faster start. You can make it work within a shorter season, which is wonderful. And things are good. So at this point, we're closing these up now. And as we close them up, we're digging them in and just kind of burying them really deep. And then if I want to, I can go down the center of the row with that great big, hand plow, and it'll even bury them in more. The one thing I can tell you is we like to lay them all to one side. We don't even care if these eyes stay upright. We just want them all laid to one side. That's basically what we're doing. And it just makes it easier for tilling and so forth. So here she is again. She's just covering them up. It's a pretty easy process. The ground's a little clumpy and junky, as you can see here, because again, we're in a hard clay. And then, remember I told you we had those shorter rows? Those are for the onions. And the onions, we have little sets that we have. And yes, you can see they're growing too. It's just the way it is on the farm. When you keep the sets from the year before, they start germinating as you go through the year. So we put them in the ground so that they're ready to come straight up, and we cover them too. And obviously we cover them with a hoe. And that, for us, is planting the potatoes and the onions, folks. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you liking and subscribing and following along on our channel.